guys, it's Olivia and welcome back to Live in Literature. Thank you so much for all the love and support I received on my last video, and if you have not seen it yet, feel free to head over to my channel to check it out. Well guys, we are back with another video today. We are nearing the end of the year. Who else is spooked? Who else is scared? I know, me too.
How many people are scared? Me too.
I'm a little bit nervous, guys. The end of the year is fastly encroaching on us. I am excited for all the holidays and stuff, and I'm excited for all the books that are being released towards the end of this year. I cannot believe it. 2024 has been an incredible year for reading. And just give you guys a little update of where I'm at reading-wise, I'll insert a screenshot here. I am up to 57 books this year. I have read 57 books, but my book goal at the original start of the year was 50. Because like I've been kind of slow going this year, so I only give myself a 50 book goal. I hit that goal like a little while ago. I'm at 57. I've clearly bumped my goal to 60 now, and I am honestly like in the back of my head planning for 70. I'm trying to hit 70 books by the end of this year, which means that I have about like 14 or 13 more to read before I hit my goal. So we're gonna see if I can do it. And that leads me to the topic of today's video, which is my 10 before the end of the year. So you guys may have seen this trend on TikTok, which is how I found out about it, and which is where all my ideas come from at this point, is book talk. And everyone is doing their 10 before the end, which means they're 10 before the end of the year. These are the 10 books that are like guaranteed they will read on their TBR. They have to read them before the end of the year, or they want to read them before the end of the year. Now, I'm just going to fully level with you guys. I'm very much a mood reader. I'm very, very much a mood reader. Like my books are very much determined by how I'm feeling in that moment. So like I've been very much going back and forth all year long with my reading, and like every single time that I feel like I'm going to hit a reading slump, I've just been reading like a cute little contemporary novel. And it's been so fun to like see the progress and to see how my reading has like expanded essentially, because I would say that like I didn't used to read very much contemporary fiction. I read a lot of just like fantasy, dark academia, like that's it. Like I was really just reading like fantasy romance or romantasy. Like I've just been doing either of those two. Like that's just been my bread and butter for so long. And so this year I feel like I really dipped my toes into reading outside that genre and doing some contemporary fiction and finding out that I actually really enjoy it, and I will definitely be doing more of that next year. So it's been an amazing year for reading. I've definitely like delved a lot into a lot of different genres that I wasn't expecting. And so my 10 before the end is going to be a very vast list, but who knows if I'm actually going to succeed. I will have to let you guys know at the end of the year if I do succeed in reading my 10 before the end. I technically have like 13 books that I need to read before the end of this year to make it to 70 if I want to hit my reading goal. But we are going to see like if any of these books on my list actually make that. There are some that are guaranteed. There are some that I know I will absolutely read this before the end of the year. But I'm just like I'm kind of on a roll right now, guys. I'm on a free sprawling roll with reading right now. I'm just chugging away, plugging away. And I don't know if that's the seasonal depression creeping in or if I'm just really enjoying what's coming out in the book world. But regardless, I'm here to talk about some fun times. And speaking of fun times and things like that, we're going to have a little pause. We're going to have a little serious moment. Serious moment before we get into the video. For those of you who were affected by the U.S. election results this week, and for those, no matter like who you voted for, it's been kind of a heavy time. If you're one of my U.S. fans and stuff, if you live here in the U.S., I just want you to know that like, I know it's kind of a heavy time for everyone, and that's why I'm making content, is because I want people to be happy, and I want people to just like forget about their problems for a little while and just know that like we're going to make it through, that everything's going to be okay, and that like I hope you know that you are loved and that you are welcome here, and that like if I can be a bright spot for you in your day, like I hope I can be that person for you. And if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know down below in the comments. If you're not one of my US fans, like love you anyway, love you kings and queens out there. Like y'all are fabulous. But for my US people, just know that I'm sending you guys some extra love, and knowing that like I know the election was hard and been a hard season for everyone. No matter whose side you decided on, it's just been a rough time for everyone. And I just want you to know that like love is here on this channel, and I'm sending you guys love, and I love you guys, and I hope that you know that like this will always be a bright place, a good place, a safe place for you, and I love you guys. So now let's just get into the video. Let's talk more about this. So 10 before the end, I'm going to go through my list of my 10 before the end. Some of the books I currently do have in my possession. Some books I don't even own yet. Some books are releases that are coming out in like the next like couple of weeks, so I will get them eventually. But we are going to be doing my 10 before the end of the year. I hope you guys are going to follow along with me. I'd love to hear what your guys' 10 before the end of the year is and hear what more about your guys' reading goals and what's going on in your TBR and things like that. But regardless, let's get into the video, my 10 before the end. Let's go. The first one we're going to start with is one that I actually finished quite literally last night, not even last night, 2 nights ago, okay? Pause. The book is Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. So I technically have already read one of the books on my 10 before the end list, but this was on the list when I made it. And so I'm counting it in this video. Guys, Lila Sage's Lost and Lassoed is in the Devil Blue trilogy that she has going on. There's going to be a 4-book series. The next one's coming out next year. If you haven't read the Devil Blue Ranch, or the Rebel Blue Ranch series, you guys need to, by Lila Sage. I had the absolute pleasure this week of going to a book signing of hers in Salt Lake City, and she was fabulous. She was so darling, so amazing. Lila Sage was incredible. I'll insert some photos. It was so amazing. I went with some friends of mine, and it was an incredible experience. She signed all 3 copies of my Rebel Blue Ranch series. I can show you the signature. She personalized mine right there. It says my name. And this one is the 3rd one in this series. And I literally, guys, I got back from the book signing at 11:30 p.m. I read till 3:30 a.m. and finished the book. I could not put it down. I am going to take a quote from, or take a page out of a famous book talker / booktuber's repertoire by using Miss Emmy Reeds. I love Emmy Reeds. She's a darling British book talker / booktuber, and she has the reading caliber of a person that I will never be able to understand. But she has a quote and a sweatshirt that she sells on her website called 5 stars is a feeling. And that's what I'm giving to this book. 5 stars is a feeling, and I give 5 stars to Lost and Lassoed. The other 2 books in the Rebel Blue Ranch series are both incredible. They're both very much just cutesy, small town cowboy romance. Like, I adored them. They were great. But this one spoke to me. This one spoke to me in a way that a book has not spoken to me. I felt seen. I felt heard. I just felt like I know what it's like to be this girl. And I just so desperately understand her, and I understood this. It's very simple. It's very sweet. Like, is this a literary masterpiece that's going to shake the foundation of the world? No. But did it shake my foundation? Did I tear up a little bit? Did it hit me in a way that impacted me? Yes, I felt seen. And that's something that I really, really take away from this. This is on my list for my 10 before the end. I already finished it, and it was absolutely fabulous. 5 stars for Lost and Lassoed. Seriously, guys, Lila Sage is unreal. She's so sweet. And I'd like to point out, we found out that she has a fire heart tattoo on her collarbone. And we asked her if she's a TOG girl, Miss Throne of Glass girl. And she said, abso-freaking-lutely. So she's one of us. She's an SJM girl. So I hope all of you guys will go out there to support a small town cowboy romance. This one specifically is an enemies to lovers. And it is delicious. I ate it up. So I hope you guys will all give this one a chance. I love this book. I think it's absolutely fabulous, and I had a great time reading it, and it was on my list of 10 before the end. Next, moving on to a book that I have been putting off quite literally since I bought it. I bought this book back in February, and I've been putting it off literally for the entire year because every time I look at it, I get so intimidated out of reading it. We have When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. The amount of people on my TikTok that have said that this book is the greatest fantasy book they have ever read and it's the best book of the year is astronomical. I've seen so many people talking about this book. And every time I go to pick it up, this dragon book that I've heard is nothing but one of the greatest fantasies they've ever read, I get intimidated by the size. And I'm not normally a girl that gets intimidated by size. I really I don't get scared of a big book. I normally love a big book. I like a big, chunky, huge book. I like it when it's got some meat on its bones.
You're a whore. Wear your whore makeup, you whore.
But for some reason, this book scares the crap out of me. I feel like it's because when I started it, it has literally, I kid you not, maybe 12 pages of terminology. It's 12 pages in the very beginning of this book of just terminology to know for when you're reading the book. This is high fantasy. This is some crazy stuff. But every person says that it's so worth, the pain of the terminology and the pain of, the high fantasy world building. It really gets so good. And I know I needed to give it a chance, and I know I want to finish it this year. It's going to be a struggle. I already can tell, like with the sheer volume of like how big this book is, it's going to take me a minute to read this one. And oh my gosh, I'm honestly very intimidated to read it, but I want to read it because everyone says it's so good. I'm going to get to it, guys. I swear. I'm going to try to finish this one before the end of the year. This one's going to be a hard one, but I'm thinking I can do it. The next one on my list of my 10 before the end, book 3, and I've already started this one because I finished Lost and Lassoed, and then I just barely started this one. I'm literally maybe like 20 pages in. When I say I just started, like I just started this one. And that is going to be Fantasma by Kaylee Smith. Fantasma. Everyone on Book Talk is freaking out about this book. This book is said to be like if Caraval by Stephanie Garber met like Danny Phantom.
He's a phantom.
And then Jane Eyre was like sprinkled in there. That would be this book. Like it's like Caraval with like the like there's a couple of nights and you have to make it through this manor and it's like very like spooky, like I don't know, feeling like Stephanie Garber vibes. And then you have like this like Danny Phantom like ghost hunting aspect of it. And then you have like this like slightly like gothic like horror novel aspect of it with like necromancers and ghosts and devils and demons and like all of that. That is this book. Like, I've just barely started it, and I can already tell that it's going to be a good one. Like, just from the way that it's being written in this beginning intro part, like, I'm already seeing, like, the pieces that are coming together. Like, I'm already seeing, like, the start of an incredible fantasy book, and I'm really excited to read this one. I'll have to let you guys know once I finish it, because, guys, Fantasma has been at the charts of the book talk craze right now. Like, everyone's talking about Fantasma. They're like, it's the best book ever right now. They're like, new book boyfriend material is in here. We'll see if they're right. I don't know. Like, we'll see if they're right. I'm skeptical. I was very skeptical when I saw this one, but honestly, like, I'm willing to give it a chance. And even just from reading the first 20 pages, I can already tell, like, this is going to be, like, a strong novel. Like, it's going to be worth it. Like, it's going to have, like, the pain and the suffering that I want to read about. Because I am a masochist. I love it. So I want to see it. So I'm very excited for this one. I can't wait to read it. It's going to be a blast. The next one I want to talk about is one that I currently do not have in my possession. It did come out this week, and I will be purchasing probably literally next week because I need to put myself in a book buying ban, but I can't for this book because when I tell you I am so excited for this book, when I tell you that this book, the first one of this series, because the one I'm going to talk about is the second one, has been at the forefront of like every video that I've been doing for the past year. If I could tell everybody to read What the River Knows by Isabella Ibanez, I would tell them to read it. Because guys, Where the Library Hides, book 2 in this duology, which is like The Mummy meets like a sprinkle of fantasy, meets sexy archaeologists in Egypt vibes, I would, okay? No one is talking enough about how incredible this debut novel is. Like, the first one came out last year around this time. I read it. I fell in love with it. It was one of my best books of the year. Like, I thought it was so well written. It was incredible. It had all the things you wanted from like a low-key like historical fantasy, like Egypt archaeology vibes. Like, it was just everything I wanted and more. It left you off on the craziest cliffhanger of all time. And some crazy foreshadowing for the next book. Where the Library Hides comes out this week. It's already out, actually, and I will be purchasing as soon as I possibly can because I need to know what happens at the end of this crazy cliffhanger that we had with our two main characters. Guys, if you are wanting something fast-paced, fun, and kind of like in those like deserty, like Egypt vibes with like sexy archaeologists and everybody's wearing khaki pants and everyone's too hot, oh my gosh, like, it's just unreal. It's just so fun. Like, I could not get enough of that first book. I'm so excited for book 2, and it is definitely going to get read on my 10 before the end. The next one is another most anticipated read of this year because, as you guys know, earlier this summer, I finally read Alex Astor's Lightlark and Nightbane. I'd been putting it off for a while because I thought that Alex Astor was full of it, okay? Sorry, Miss Alex. I take it all back, okay? I take it all back. Because truly, in my heart of hearts, I actually do think that, like, she's a good writer. Like, I do think that she's a good writer. Now, do I think that she's, like, a good writer the way SJM's a good writer? No. She is more in, like, the Lauren Roberts of, like, good writing, where I'm like, oh my gosh, the story and the plot line is so intriguing. And yeah, am I eating up your main male characters? Yes, I'm eating them up. Eating them up with a fork and knife.
So good. So good and tasty.
I am a Grimshaw stan. If y'all are not familiar with the Lightlark series, like, get into it, okay? It's an amazing trilogy. It's the third book, Skyshade, comes out literally next week. It's next Tuesday. I'm so excited. I will be purchasing as soon as possible because I need to complete my trilogy. And also because I just am so excited to read more about Grimshaw and like know what happens there. They left off in Nightbane at the very end on the craziest cliffhanger again, a massive crazy cliffhanger at the end of Nightbane. I loved it, and I'm so excited to see what happens next with them. It's going to be like it's definitely like a YA fantasy vibe. It's not like a hard read. It's very easy if you want to pick it up really fast. Like, guys, Skyshade is out next week. It will be read before the end of this year because I am so excited to find out what happens between my main characters. I'm so excited. Everyone needs to go read Skyshade. One that's on my list for this year is one that I was like not prepared for because like it's like made its way through Book Talk, but a lot of people have been talking about it as an incredible like Viking fantasy like book. And that's The Road of Bones by Demi Winters. I think it's Demi Winters. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. But it's Road of Bones. Guys, I've heard so many incredible things about Road of Bones. I've heard it's an incredible book. I've just been seeing it all over Book Talk for like months and months and months, like since the beginning of the year. And I've just been putting it off and not reading it. I really want to get it done before the end of the year. Like it's one of those ones that I like have every intention to finish and read, but I currently don't even own the book. Like it's literally like I don't even have it right now. I need to get it and I need to read it. It's definitely on my list of my 10 before the end. And fingers crossed that I can actually read it because so many people have said it's so freaking good. Also, I'm down to do a little Vikings in December. That sounds fun for me. Little Viking time in December. I don't know, sounds kind of fun. So I hope that I can finish that one as well. That's definitely on the list. I'm really excited about it too. The next book on my 10 before the end list, we have An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. An Academy for Liars. I am so excited to read this book. No, I didn't. I got it for my birthday from my parents. This is a gift from my parents. Love you, Mom and Dad. Thank you. I got this as a gift from my parents because this was on my list because it's dark academia. This is a dark academia novel about a girl named Lennon who is essentially like accepted into this school of magic because she has the gift of persuasion. And while she's there, she's noticing all these like secret goings on at this secret school that she's been like mysteriously asked to come to. She like, there's a thing going on with like her professor Dante. They're uncovering school secrets. It takes place in Savannah, Georgia. Like it's very much like Southern like murder mystery, haunting, like our dark academia vibes with like a gift of persuasion of magic, which honestly I live. I love a cool magic system. I love that she's got the gift of persuasion. I feel like that sounds like a really fun and interesting like vocal gift, which I'm like very excited to see more of. This sounds super, super interesting. And it's just a gorgeous dark academia. I've heard nothing but incredible things about this book. I've heard it's literally fabulous. And I'm just excited to read it. It's just one of those ones that I'm like, I purchased the book. I need to read the book. Well, I didn't purchase it. It was a gift, but whatever. I have the book. I need to read the book like ASAP because this is a dark academia and I love dark academia. So I can't wait. Speaking of dark academia, we have my next novel for my 10 before the end, and that is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. Guys, Blood Over Brighthaven is one book that I literally saw one girl give a TikTok on this book and I said, say no more. Say less, actually, because I'm going to purchase it and I'm going to read it. Because again, it is dark academia and I am a whore for dark academia during the fall.
When did this become a whorehouse?
This book is about a young woman named Siona, and she has for 20 years has been studying to like become like a high mage at this prestigious college. She becomes the first woman ever inducted into this college. And she's thinking like, oh, like her classmates will be like excited to have her and that these other men are surrounding her will build her up. She's sadly mistaken because basically instead of getting a lab assistant to like help her build her magic, she's given to a janitor. And she has the janitor, like they like give her to a janitor and then she's like, great, awesome. I have this janitor trying to teach me how to do magic. And she's like, and I thought that I was going to be like high mage and have a lot of like decorum and class and the whole thing. Turns out though that this janitor actually has like a lot of magical abilities, that he is this guy who basically has been like wronged in some way, and she and him are going to uncover this like conspiracy going on at this school, and the way that she does magic might be the way that like changes magic forever. This is like, again, like a feminist prose of like women against all these dudes, which I am eating up right now. I am so here for like girl power movement. I'm also here for this girl who just like wants to study magic and she just expects that like she can just walk in there and do it just like all the other boys. And they're like, no, you can't. And she's like, watch me, losers. And she like, you know, like she's gonna do it. Like, and I'm so excited. And this dark academia seems amazing. I've heard of really amazing things also about this author, M.L. Wang. I've heard that M.L. Wang has a really another famous book called The Sword of Kaigen. And it looks really good. And I'm honestly like, I'm going to read this one and I'm probably going to end up reading the next one too, or reading The Sword of Kaigen, because I've heard such amazing things about this author. I'm really excited about this one. This one seems like a really fun, like spooky, but also like serious, like very much like college magic vibes of like dark academia. And I'm really excited to read it. I also know there's going to be a little bit of a romance in there. Ooh, love. So this one's definitely on my list and I'm so excited. The next one on this list is a highly anticipated book for me. It releases in just a couple of weeks. It is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone from Carissa Broadbent's Crowns of Nyaxia series. Guys, you guys know how much I love Carissa Broadbent because I absolutely fell in love with Serpents and the Wings of Night and Ashes and the Star-Touched King this year, and I'm just absolutely obsessed with anything that Carissa Broadbent puts out. Like, I love that woman so freaking much. She is going to become one of the greats. Like, she is going to be one of the greats, guys.
Someday, I hope to join them. Be one of the greats.
Like, I'm just so impressed by her. I'm floored by her and her work ethic, and that she's finally getting the name recognition that she deserves. And this third book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, I am so excited for. It doesn't have anything to do with my girl and my guy, or Raya or Rain, okay? They might make an appearance. They might make a cameo. This one is about Mish, Rain's really good friend, who again was also like, she was a priestess turned vampire. And this is going to be about her story and her journey and like coming to terms with like her priestess gifts and abilities and the fact that she's a vampire and all of that. She has a very like upbeat, positive personality and she's just going through some rough times. And I'm very excited because I know this one is going to involve like an enemies to lovers romance, and it's going to be everything because Carissa Broadbent knows how to write an enemies to lovers. And Carissa Broadbent is just my queen, my mother, a goddess. I just love that woman so fetchin' much. Like, truly, I love her so much. And I think she is so talented. And so I'm definitely so excited for The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. I think it's going to be an amazing book, and I literally cannot wait to read it. The last one we have is a debut novel from a new author, or at least she's new to me. We have Miss Megan Scott, The Temptation of Magic. This one is said to be, and I quote, sworn to be enemies, destined to be each other's undoing. Which y'all know how I am for a sworn to be enemies type of bit. Because like, oh my gosh, it's everything. We have a young woman named Nicole. She's technically a shape-shifting immortal called an Imperial. And they're essentially like illegal creatures that live. And she's like human or whatever, but she's like illegal people that are not allowed to exist. There are like people who hunt the Imperial to bring them into like a closed organization. And that happened to her mother. Her mother was killed for resisting, and she doesn't want anyone to find out. But there's a young man named Kyan who is an Imperial hunter. And he and Nicole have to like work together to take down this other force called the Wake. But if Kyan finds out that she's an Imperial, he'll have to take her in. And so it's kind of like monster versus monster hunter. Very sexy, very fun. I always live for a kind of romance like this. This one seems like a really cool magic system as well, and I'm very interested in knowing what's going on in there. I'm also just super excited to read this one. It seems super interesting. And again, like monster versus monster hunter, like how can I resist? Like it honestly seems like everything I need and more, because that trope never gets old. So I'm super excited to read The Temptation of Magic. It seems like a great book, and I hope that I can read it before the end of the year. So that is my 10 before the end of the year list. I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Living Literature YouTube channel. Guys, I have so many amazing books to read before the end of the year. I hope that I can do it, and I hope that I stick to my list. I don't know. I could divert off the path a little bit. There's so many new books coming out that I'm like, ooh, like I'm just too excited. There's so much good stuff to read. I hope that I hit my reading goal. We'll see if I do. I'd love to hear more about your guys' reading goals for the year and what you guys are hoping to hit. And again, I love you guys so much. I love this channel so much. We are so close to 900 subscribers, guys. The giveaway is imminent, okay? It is, or not imminent, it's imminent. The giveaway is imminent, people, okay? Like 900 subscribers is gonna be such a good giveaway, and we are so close to hitting 1,000, guys. I am literally so excited because once we hit 1,000 subscribers, you know the giveaway is going to go off. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell anyone you know to subscribe to Living Literature, and you guys can have a chance to win some books and some other great prizes from me. I love you guys the most, and I hope that you have an amazing, fabulous day. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.